بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والحمد لله الذي لا إله إلا هو على ما من به علينا من النعم الكثيرة الظاهرة والباطنة وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله صلوات الله وسلامه عليه. أما بعد. By the name of Allah, the most merciful, the most compassionate. All praise belongs to Allah, the one that there's none that has the right to be worshipped except Him, the one who has bestowed upon us blessings and bounties that are numerous. Those blessings and bounties that are apparent and hidden. And I bear witness that none has the right to be worshipped except Allah. He's alone, without having any partners. And I bear witness that Muhammad ibn Abdullah, he is his servant and his messenger. May the peace and salutations of Allah be upon him. Amma ba'd, to proceed, ikhwan. فاللهم إنا نسألك أن تساعد إخواننا وأخواتنا في فلسطين وفي غير فلسطين وفي الأرض الكامل. اللهم رب العالمين إنا نسألك أن ترحم من مات منهم ونسألك أن يموتوا وهم متمسكين بالكتاب والسنة وأن ترضى بهم. Oh Allah, we ask that you aid and support our brothers and our sisters in Palestine and outside of Palestine, that you help and aid those who are oppressed and tormented in the lands. We ask that you have mercy upon them, those that have passed away from amongst them. And we ask that they have died while holding on to your book, O Allah, and the Sunnah of your Messenger, alayhi salatu wasalam, and that you are pleased with them. ونسأل ربنا سبحانه وتعالى مثل هذه الأدعية لهم ولنا جميعا أن لا نموت إلا ونحن متمسكون بالكتاب والسنة. And we ask this for our brothers and our sisters in Palestine, also all of the Muslims, the men and the women, no matter where they are, that when we die holding on to the book of Allah and the Sunnah of His Messenger, alayhi salatu wassalam. فنرحب بكم جميعا إلى هذه السلسلة العلمية. So we welcome each and every one of you in this series of classes that we have here, من علم مصطلح الحديث. مصطلح الحديث, as we're learning from the science of الحديث. فما مقصود يا ماسي بعلم مصطلح الحديث؟ ما مقصود بهذا؟ What's the meaning when we say we're learning from the science of al-hadith? What does that mean? We're learning from the science of al-hadith. What is the science of hadith? تذكر, remember? What is the science of al-hadith? من يعينا أخوانا ماسي, who can help our brother Masi? What is the science of hadith, ya Shaykh?
Is it the science of the Senate?
Science of the chain. Naam, Sahih.
And the science of memorization.
Science of memorization, you can say that. جميلا. معلمة, عندك شيء آخر? You have anything to add? What is the science of al-hadith? The principles of hadith, you can say that. معرفة الإسناد ومعرفة حال الراوي. The having knowledge of the chain of hadith, having knowledge of the men in the chain. ومعرفة معنى نوع الحديث, also having knowledge of the types of hadith. ما معنى صحيح? What does it mean this hadith is authentic? ما معنى هذا الحديث حسن? What does it mean this hadith is حسن? ما معنى الموضوع? What does it mean this hadith is fabricated? فمثل هذا العلم يدرس في هذا العلم. The likes of this science or this knowledge is studied in the science of hadith. ففي علم الحديث, في علم مصطلح حديث, المراد ليس الحفظ. المراد ليس الحفظ when you're studying the science of hadith, the intent is not memorizing. We're not memorizing hadith يا إخوان الآن. نتعلم معنى كل أنواع الحديث. We're learning the meaning of every type of hadith. What does it mean when the scholars say this hadith is mursal? What does it mean when the scholars say this hadith is mu'dal? مثلا. فكل هذا العلم يدرس في مصطلح الحديث. مصطلح الحديث. The likes of this يا إخوان is studied in this science. طيب هل مثل هذا العلم واجبا على كل مسلم? Is the likes of this science obligatory upon every Muslim? من يجيب? Who can answer? Masi. Our brother says no. وهذا صحيح, and that's correct. ليس على كل شخص. على بعض المسلمين. Upon some of the Muslims, they have to learn the science of al-hadith.
Does that make it فرض كفاية?
فرض كفاية. Accent. May Allah bless you. طيب أين وصلنا؟ Where did we arrive يا إخوان؟ تعلمنا. طيب نراجع قليلا. Let's do a small review يا إخوان. طيب أول حديث يبين له العلماء رحمهم الله تعالى وحفظهم الله ما هو. The first type of hadith that all of the scholars clarify first is what type? الحديث الصحيح, the authentic hadith. أحسنت. Our sister معلمة, لماذا بدأوا بمعرفة الحديث الصحيح? Why do they start with the authentic hadith?
It's the most important.
Most important. أحسنت. وأهم هو it's the most important hadith. وأشهر hadith, and it's the most famous of a hadith. وأهم hadith, and it's the most important hadith. طيب ماسي ما أقسام صحيح? How many categories of sahih are there? How many categories of sahih are there? Three. تقربتها. Close. Two. Accent. ما هما? What are they?
صحيح لذاته صحيح
لمصاهيلي.
لغيره.
Accent. First category, sahih لذاته. The authentic hadith that by itself sahih is sahih. لا يحتاج إلى سند آخر أو إلى حديث آخر. لا, هو صحيح بذات. This hadith does not need another hadith to make it authentic. لا, it's already authentic. It's the sahih لذاته, the authentic hadith in itself. The hadith that is sahih by itself. لا يحتاج إلى حديث آخر ليقويه. لا, it doesn't need a new hadith to make it strong. It's already authentic. طيب, who's turn? Our beloved sister معلمة, ما اسم البيقوني? What's the name of Imam Al-Bayquni? Muhammad ibn Taha. Some scholars say Umar, some say Taha. Some say Muhammad, some say Umar. جميلا. أحسنتي. طيب ما هو الحديث الصحيح? What's the meaning of the Sahih hadith?
There are five characteristics.
Five characteristics.
A connected chain.
Connected chain.
Prophet. The precision.
Precision of the narrators.
Let's see. It doesn't have illah.
No illatun qadiha. No hidden or weakness that affects the hadith. 3.
It doesn't have shad.
Does not have shad. 4.
And
Something about the narrators.
Narrators has to be they have to be just or fair.
And they have to have adalah. They have to be just. They have to have the highest level of reliability. جميلا. ماسي إذا لا يوجد شرط من هذه الشروط ماذا يسمى هذا الحديث? We should ask this on the test يا إخوان. If one of these 5 conditions are not there, just one of them, what hadith would this be called? One of them is missing. It's a trick question. One of the 5 is missing. What type of hadith would that be?
Wait, is there like a specific word? Or can I
You tell me. One of the 5 is missing. It's only 4 there. What type of hadith would that be called? Still authentic. Okay, Massey says still authentic. Let's see everyone, inshallah. Da'if. Authentic. Da'if. Our sister. Hassan. Oh. Kulukum akhta'tum. All of you are wrong. Our sister, huh? Our brother. Muttafaqun alayh.
You said one of them is missing.
One of them is missing.
Yeah, it's da'if.
Hassan. What you say? Sahih. Da'if. Hassan. Our Sheikh. Sahih. What do you say, ya Sheikh? Sahih. Oh. Kulukum ajabtum wa akhta'tum. All of you answered and are incorrect. Our sister.
I think it depends which one.
Ahsanti. Hada huwa al-jawab. That's the answer. It depends.
I thought you said before that if one of them is missing, it's automatically da'if. You never said that?
Have I said that before? If one of the conditions of the Sahih hadith is not missing, is missing, then it makes the hadith da'if. That could be from one angle. Could be. But that's a certain condition. If you say in general, it depends on which one. For example, if it has shadh, da'if. Illatun qadiha, da'if. The chain is broken, da'if.
Okay.
Tayyib. What's another one? The narrators don't have accuracy.
They'll make it hasan.
If they have, it depends. If they don't have accuracy, they have weak precision. Hadith is weak. They have khaful dabt. They don't have weak memorizations. Their memory is lacking slightly. It's not like the hadith sahih. This will be hasan. So generally, if one is missing, yes, da'if. But the intent, I was intending to say, if it's not actually missing, but it's not to their level, they're dabt. They don't have tamil dabt. They have khaful dabt. Their precision is slight, is less. She gets 100 on every test, 98, 99, 98. Another sister gets 97, 96, 95, 96, 95. You can't say her memory is weak, or she makes hadith weak. Her accuracy is a little bit less than the sahih chain. So yes, you guys are right. If you say one of them is missing, that'll be da'if. My intent I was looking for was it's not missing, but it's not to that level. But if I say it like that, you're automatically going to know hasan. Right. So if you say da'if, and that perhaps is what our sister was alluding to there. If one of the conditions is missing, la yujad, then yes, that will be da'if. Sahih, that's correct. If it's not missing, like an aqal, it's less. It's not like a Tirmidhi's memorization, not like Ahmed, not like Bukhari, but it's a little bit less. Little bit less. On the test, he gets a 99, 89. That's awesome, that's great. But it's not mumtaz jiddan. It's not extremely great. There's a difference in dabt. May Allah bless you. Tayyib, whose turn? Ma aqsamu al-hasan. Massey. How many categories of the hasan chain are there? 3. Oh, close. How many categories of hasan?
Oh, it's 2.
2. Our sister, ma huma, what are they? What are the categories of hasan? Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullah. Our brother, Abdul Jilani, may Allah bless you. Hey, same as sahih. Hasan li dhati, hasan li ghayri. If you understand sahih, you understand hasan. If you understand sahih, you understand hasan. If you understand sahih, you understand da'if. If you understand sahih, you understand hasan. If you understand sahih, you understand da'if. How is that? Who can explain? How, if you understand sahih, you automatically know what hasan is? How? Hey, they're similar. Same names. Sahih li dhatihi, hasan li dhatihi. Sahih li ghayrihi, hasan li ghayrihi. The sahih by itself, hasan by itself. The sahih li ghayrihi, the original chain is not sahih, but by way of another hadith is raised up to be sahih. Same as hasan. The origin of the hasan li ghayrihi is in the hadith da'if, that this hadith is weak. ثم يأتي حديث آخر ليرفعه, and then another hadith comes and it raises it up to be hasan li dhatihi. أو لحسن لغيره. طيب ما تعريف الحسن? Who's telling Massey? What's the meaning of the hadith that is Hasan?
One of the conditions missing.
One? Oh, if you leave it like that, that's going to be weak. Not one is missing, but
Less.
hey, it's less. Ahsant. خف الضبط. In the hadith al-sahih, all of the narrators, mashallah, have tam al-dabt, complete accuracy. They're barely going to get anything wrong. Barely, mashallah. طيب. When she gets it wrong, it's one, maybe two. That's it. The Hasan khaf al-dabt, their precision and accuracy is slightly less. طيب ما هو الحديث الموقوف? Whose turn? Our sister. What is the hadith that is called al-mawquf? What is the hadith al-mawquf? لا بأس. تفضل شيخ عينها. Hope Rabbi love معلمة out. Hadith al-mawquf.
Is it the one that the chain stopped before it reached the Prophet?
Accent. It's a hadith وقف عند الصحابة. It's the statement of a companion. The statement of a companion. Accent. طيب وعليك السلام. ما هو الحديث المقطوع؟ حسين ماسي. What is the hadith al-maqtu'? Who is it attributed to? Maqtu'. Maqtu' linguistically means to be broken. But here, who does this is it attributed to? Huh? أحسنت يا تابعي. الحديث المقطوع هو قول التابعي. The hadith that is مقطوع is a statement of a tabi'i. وهذا الاسم تعلمناه أيضا أنه ليس مشهورا حاليا على الأسف. And we also mentioned that this phrase مقطوع is not famous today. The scholars of hadith don't really use the word مقطوع today. For example, like Ahlul Hadith. You don't hear nobody say, my methodology is the methodology of the people of hadith. You know, that's a famous phrase of the people of the Salaf. They used to use that. The people of hadith. That's a famous one. What's another famous one, ya ikhwan? Ahlul Haqq. The people of the truth. Someone says, what's your methodology? He says, Minhaji inshaAllah ta'ala, Minhaju Ahlul Haqq. That's a phrase that people of the Salaf used to use. My methodology is the methodology of the people of the truth. Nowadays we just hear Salafi. What's another one here today? Ahl Sunnah wa Jama'ah. They're the main three of today. But there are many phrases of the past. Athari is another one. That your methodology is the methodology of the narrations. No. All of them have the same meaning, ya ikhwan.
Isn't it Sunni?
Huh?
Sunni.
Oh, you hear Sunni also today. Sunni, Salafi, Ahl Sunnah wa Jama'ah. They're the main four. But there are many affiliations, ya ikhwan. وَكُلُّهَا تُؤْخَذُ مِنْ أَدِلَّةٍ. And each one of them have proofs to support. Alhamdulillah.
Is it like allowed for people to call themselves that?
It's allowed. It's not allowed to believe you're better than someone else. هذا ليس بالصحيح. That's not correct. هو جائز يا إخوان إذا الشخص ينسب نفسه إلى سنة النبي أو إلى حديث النبي أو إلى أهل السنة أو إلى أهل السنة والجماعة أو إلى أهل الحق أو إلى غير هذا جائز. It's allowed for someone to attribute himself. He says, I follow inshaAllah the Sunnah. He says, I'm Sunni. That's what that means. He says, I follow the Quran and Sunnah. I follow Ahlul Haq, the people of the truth. I follow As-Salaf As-Salih, the rightly guided predecessors. I follow Ahl Sunnah wa Jama'ah, the people who are gathered together on the Sunnah. All that's allowed. لكن هذا ليس بشرط أبدا. But that's not a condition. الشرط أن يقولوا كما قالوا وأن يعملوا كما عملوا وأن يؤمنوا كما آمنوا. The condition is that you say as they said, you do as they did, you believe as they believe. Nowadays, ya ikhwan, we fight over the word. We fight over the word. She doesn't call herself Salafiyya. He doesn't call himself Sunniya or Sunni. Doesn't have to call yourself anything. You say, hey, I'm Muslim. I'm Muslim. هذا يكفي. That's sufficient. ماذا تؤمنون? What do you believe? أنا آمن بمنهج السلف الصالح. I believe inshallah. I try to follow inshallah to the best of my ability the way of the pious predecessors. Alhamdulillah. But it's not a name. It's an affiliation. It's a description. It's not a name. بعض الناس يظنون أنهم أفضل من شخص آخر لأنه يسمي نفسه بهذا الاسم وهذا خطأ. Another problem that we do today is that we believe, since I say I'm Sunni inshallah, I think وَنَعُوذُ بِاللَّهِ, and we seek refuge with Allah Ta'ala, that I'm better than you. You don't call yourself Sunni. No, not like that.
People like say that this one is wrong and this one is right. Are they like all right?
It could be. Sometimes it depends on what you're referring to. Sometimes the Imams differ and all of them are right. It depends on what's the issue. Sometimes the Imams differ and all of them are wrong. Sometimes the Imams differ, these two are right and this one is wrong. Sometimes they differ, it depends on the issue. مثلا, let's see who's the Bukhari of our group. عندنا قول, طيب, we have one position. أن طيب هكذا say يا إخوان. طيب أن الذي يصلي هكذا. طيب الذي يقول أن الإمام مالك قال أن هذا السنة. هذا القول. First opinion. Some people say Imam Malik said praying like this is a sunnah. The man says Allahu Akbar Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen with his hands to the sides. That's one opinion. Right? Second قول أن الإمام مالك ينسب الضم إلى النبي. Another position, Imam Malik said placing your right hand on the chest ماذا is a sunnah. So to the sides on your chest. They contradict each other. How could that statement be the same? This contradicts this. Some people say Imam Malik said. Some people say Imam Malik said. How can that be the same?
One is not true.
MashaAllah, may Allah bless you. They say he said it, but he never said it. That narration that he said it is not authentic. So they said he said it. This one. And I challenge any, not that we have some special knowledge in Ikhwan. No. All of us are seeking knowledge, alhamdulillah. I challenge anyone who says أنه متبع لمذهب الإمام مالك أن يرجع إلى قوله هو رحمه الله تعالى. I challenge anyone who says they follow Imam Malik, his madhab, to go back to his own words. In his book that he wrote, it's called Al-Muwatta من أحسن كتب الفقه من أحسن كتب الحديث. This Muwatta, we hope at our masjid we get to that level. One of the best books of fiqh you're going to study. We hope. One of the best books of hadith you're going to study. أنا أنصح نفسي وياكم بدراسة من كتاب الموطأ. هو كتاب عظيم. كتاب عظيم. I recommend myself and my brothers, my sisters, if you can get this book, get this book. If you can study from this book, study from this book. It's a tremendous book. قبل ورود البخاري ومسلم قال العلماء أن الموطأ أحسن كتاب مصنف في الأرض كما قال الشافعي رحمه الله. Before Bukhari wrote his book and before Muslim wrote his book, some scholars said the Muwatta was the best book authored on the earth. That was mentioned by a Shafi'i, other than a Shafi'i. Before Bukhari's book was written, before Muslim wrote his book, the best book according to many of the scholars of Hadith was the Muwatta. From them الشافعي. طيب ثم بدأ البخاري أن ماذا أن يكتب ومسلم كذلك فقال هو الحديث الثاني والكتاب الثالث بل كتاب الثالث. And then Bukhari wrote his book, Muslim wrote his book, and then some scholars say no, now was the third best book. Bukhari is tremendous and Muslim is right after Bukhari. At any rate, they say Imam Malik said, and the whole book, his madhab says, a third of the madhab, not all of the madhab. They say, أن الإمام مالك رحمه الله تعالى ينسب الإرسال إلى النبي. They say that Imam Malik said praying to the sides is a sunnah. في الكتاب الكامل ما ذكر حديثا واحد يؤيد هذا القول. In the entire book, the whole book, and don't take my word, we don't teach like that, ya ikhwan. ارجعوا إلى الكتاب, go back to the book, the Muwatta. And the whole book, he doesn't bring one single hadith to support this. Not one. They say he said this is the sunnah. That's what they say. In the whole book, they don't bring one hadith to support it. Their madhab says he does not say this is the sunnah. This is called the dum, placing it right on your left. The madhab says, a third of the madhab or so, they say that Imam Malik said this is not a sunnah. They don't believe that to be a sunnah. They say this is a sunnah. And the whole book, ذكر حديثا يؤيد هذا القول ولا يؤيد هذا القول. And the book of Salah, and the book of قصر الصلاة في السفر, أو كما قال رحمه الله. In the book of Salah, in the chapter of shortening the prayer while traveling, he brings a hadith to support this, not a hadith to support this. ذكر نفس الحديث ذكره البخاري. He mentions the same hadith that's found in the book of Bukhari. To support, place your right hand on your left. So they say Imam Malik said, Imam Malik said, Imam Malik said. But in reality, with his own words, he brings a hadith to support that second hadith. Tafadhal.
I'm not sure if this was him, but I heard that one of them, like, they got tortured badly to the point where...
Hey, that was Imam Malik.
Yeah, he couldn't raise his arms, so they attributed it to him.
Hey, that's true. Some scholars say that story has some weakness. However, most of them say it's Hasan. That سئل أن يفتح درسا أو أن يقول بكلمة أن يفتي بكلمة فرفض فيعذب عذابا شديدا. So it was mentioned that he was either asked to open up a class or he was asked to give an Islamic verdict about something from the leader, and he refused. So he was tortured. Some say كسر يده وقال بعضهم كسر يداه. Some scholars say one of his arms was broken. Other scholars say no, both of them were broken. So that's why he prayed like that. At any rate, that's him. What about him attributing to the Prophet? Many scholars of Hadith say it's not imagined that this great Imam would attribute something to the Messenger of Allah without authentic Hadith. Some scholars say that. At any rate, he's a tremendous Hadith scholar. So where's the proof that he's using? According to these scholars that say, Imam Malik said. Our Shaykh used to say, Abu Amr al-Hujuri, أن هذا القول منقطع. He said that this chain that they say, it is broken and is not authentic.
Like travel is like, if a traveler is traveling, right? And they have time.
No.
Can they like pray the whole prayer or just...
They can pray the whole salah, لكن الأولى تفضل شيخ الأولى أن يصلي كما صلى النبي عليه الصلاة والسلام. Someone is traveling, we go from here and we visit the brothers in Minnesota, we go to Dallas, we go to any other place that's a trip. Somebody says, hey, I'm going to pray my whole salah. That's jais, that's allowed. Dhuhr comes and Masih says, no, I'm going to pray 4 raka'ah. Allahu Akbar, and he prays 4. Asr comes, he says, I'm going to pray 4. Allahu Akbar. Our sister comes, she says, I'm going to pray 3. She says, I'm going to pray 4 for Isha. Allahu Akbar. Our other brothers say, no, I'm going to shorten. Which ones are better? Those who shorten. Why? That's what the Prophet used to do. When the Prophet of Allah traveled, he would shorten and combine. It's not obligatory to follow that, but it's highly, 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 highly recommended. هذا النبي وهديه أحسن هدي, and his guidance is the best guidance. No. Anyone else have one? So sometimes this scholar says, and sometimes one is right, and sometimes they both are right, and sometimes they both are wrong. طيب. Someone asked me about a man or woman pleasuring themselves. هذا ليس بجديد. That's nothing new يا إخوان. العلماء كانوا متكلمين عن هذا قبل. The scholars talked about that for generations now. طيب. قال السائد, the brother he mentions, قال بعض العلماء. He says some scholars they say, was آية إخوان في سورة المعارج, ومن وراء ذلك فأولئك هم الأعادون. إلا من إلا ما ملكت
والذين
أموال
هم لفروجهم حافظون إلا على أزواجهم
إلا على أزواجهم
وما ملكت أيمانهم
وما ملكت أيمانهم
فإنهم غير ملومين.
فإنهم غير ملومين. Ahsant. Allah Ta'ala, He says, He mentions except the spouses and then the right hand possessors, those who preserve their private parts, except upon their wives and their right hand possessors. And whoever goes beyond that, then they are malumeen. They are those who are blamed. That's one ayah. It comes somewhere else also. And huh?
This is from the ayah.
أين وهم ومن وراء ذلك فأولئك هم العادون.
That's the Ma'arij.
Ma'arij, أين
هو حسب الزمان.
and Mu'minun. There's another ayah that comes in Mu'minun and Ma'arij. And those who go beyond this, فَأُولَٰئِكَ هُمُ الْعَادُونَ, then they are the trespassers. They have transgressed. In one narration, there are those who are blamed. Another narration, the Surah Al-Ma'arij, there are those they went beyond the limits. Some scholars say here, Allah says, your wives and husbands and right hand possessors. That's the only two ways you can enjoy yourselves. Your spouses or your right hand possessors. We don't have no more right hand possessors. So the woman only can enjoy her husband. The man only can enjoy his women. Right? So they say here, if you enjoy yourself, or you enjoy your own self without a wife and right hand possessed, you went beyond the bounds. That's one opinion. You are blameworthy. That's one opinion. Other scholars say that's not the meaning. They say the intent here is having relations. The only ones you can have relations with is your wives, or for the women, their husbands, and for the men, the right hand possessed. They say the word is not mentioned about pleasuring yourself. That's not relations. So they differ. My point is here, one of them is right, one of them is wrong. Allah knows which one is wrong. The second one appears to be the strongest. That's my humble opinion. I agree with As-San'ani and Ash-Shawkani and Ibn Hazm. They use their verse, when you go to the Tafseer of the verse, Allah is talking about having relations. Imam Ash-Shawkani also says a strong point, whatever you agree, labat. He also says not one of the companions said that about that verse. Not one. That's strong,
But it was unheard of back then.
It wasn't unheard of. It wasn't unheard of.
It was rare.
Huh?
Rare.
It was rare. But he's using, when the verse came down, none of them said, hey, this verse also means like that. He says the scholars, some scholars say, the scholars of today, they use it like that. Sheikh Uthaymeen says that, Sheikh Mukbil says that. So many scholars, they say, no, the only way you can enjoy yourself is with your wives, the women with their husbands, or your right hand possessed. Other scholars say, no, go back to the meaning of the verse. It doesn't mean just pleasure, and it means having relations. The only ones you can have relations with is your women and the women with their husbands, or the men their right hand possess. So this is one example of when the scholars differ. Another example is when they both are wrong. Az-zawj yutaliqu zawjatahu. The man divorces his wife. You are divorced. She's now in what? What is she in now? The iddah, the waiting period. طيب. هل هي لا تزال زوجة له? Is she still his wife? She's in the waiting period. Is she still a wife? The answer is yes. Right? And the women don't have to say, sometimes you meet the women and she's with her friends and they say, hey, assalamu alaikum girl, how's everything? You married? Yeah, but I'm in the waiting period. You don't have to say all of that. You're still a wife. It's not wife, divorce, waiting period. The one in the iddah is still a wife until her iddah is yantahi, until her iddah is over.
Was she halal for you?
She's still halal.
You mean after you divorce her?
She's a wife. Y'all going through a divorce, right? She's still your wife. Some scholars say once you divorce her, you cannot have relations with her. Meaning, once you pronounce divorce, you can't be alone with her. Some scholars say that, but that's not the strongest opinion. Why? Because she's still your wife. You still have to spend on her. You still have to give her food and drink. You still have to give her shelter. You still have to give her clothing. She is still your wife until the waiting period is over. You being alone with your wife while she's in the waiting period, la haraja, there's nothing wrong with that. Why? She's still your wife. She still has to obey him. If she was not his wife, she wouldn't have to obey. The fact that she still has to obey him shows هي لا تزال زوجة له. She's still a wife to him. He still has to give her food and drink. Since he still has to give her food and drink, shows she is still his wife. طيب هو طلق زوجته وهي في العدة. He divorced her. She is in the waiting period. كيف يراجعها? How does he continue the marriage with her? How does he take her out of the waiting period? يوجد أو توجد عدة أقوال. There are many positions of the ulama. How does he take her out? Who knows? Huh?
It's the same way like he was married.
They have to remarry?
No, no.
They already married.
Like the same
Give me an
they
example.
were doing before.
So they continue.
He has
In
to
the waiting
verify.
period.
No, she's in the waiting period. How does he take her out the waiting period? Well, she's no longer in the waiting period. How can he take her out?
He can't.
He can. What can he do?
By speech.
First way, say it. That's one opinion. You are no longer in the waiting period. That's sufficient. That's one opinion. Second opinion? Our sister? Second opinion?
By going to Sheikh, maybe.
He goes to someone and says, hey, I want my wife to be out the waiting period. So he says it.
Yeah.
Give me another position.
Remarry without the dowry.
You don't have to remarry. You're already married.
Oh,
طيب. Second position, and يقرب إليها شهوة. Second way, he comes to her. He enjoys her. He has relations with her.
Can't that already happen?
Huh?
Can't that already happen?
It can.
So what's the difference?
We'll save that point. That's a good question. First way to take her out, he says it. Second way, he doesn't say a word. He kisses her. Mwah. He hugs her. Hey, he doesn't say a word. Or they have relations. He doesn't say a word.
What if he didn't mean it?
Good point. Shafi says that. طيب. That's why fiqh is so important, ya ikhwan. Fiqh does not mean memorizing opinions. No, that's not fiqh. You just memorize a lot of opinions. That's all. Fiqh is knowing why this sheikh said that. What's his evidence? What's her evidence? What's his position? Why that's his position? Knowing the adillah of the mashaykh. That's fiqh. Right? Knowing the scholars differ, that's not fiqh yet. You're almost there. Turn the page. Why did he say that? Why did she say that? Why did he say that? Now you're studying fiqh. طيب. So now we have two opinions. One, he has to say it. Two, he doesn't action. طيب. There's a third opinion. And it appears to be the strongest. Because it has adillah. The one that says he has to say it, there's no proof of that. Allah didn't say, you take your wife back by saying it. The Prophet didn't say, you take your wife back by saying it. Second opinion, Abu Hanifa has a second opinion, you have relations with her. He also says, if you do an action of intimacy, he kissed her. Mwah. Didn't say a word. He's saying that kiss, that relations, is him saying, I'm taking you back with his body. He didn't say a word. He hugs her. Him saying with his arms, you're no longer in the waiting period. Abu Hanifa says that. Third opinion, it doesn't matter what you say. It doesn't matter the action you do. It matters your intention. Imam Al-Shafi says that. He says, what's my proof? And he mentions the hadith, the Messenger alayhi salatu wasalam, إِنَّمَا الْأَعْمَالُ بِالنِّيَّاتِ. All actions are based upon intentions. Meaning, if the man divorces his wife, and then he's in the kitchen, يَطْبُخُ طَعَامًا لَهَا رُزًّا أو لحما أو أي شيء ما بهذا الطبخ هو ينوي أن يراجعها فهي ليست في العدة. The man divorced his wife a month ago, some time ago. And now he's cooking breakfast for her. It's not always for the women to cook for us. We can cook for them also. We're Muslims. Alhamdulillah. It may not be as good as them. I can't make that. That's awesome. What do you want to make, honey? I'm going to make some toast. I got you. Alhamdulillah. I'm going to make some cereal. I'm going to make some oatmeal. I'm going to make some grits. I'm going to make some bread. I'm going to make. It's not about what you make. It's about your intention. Maybe I can't cook as good as you. Instead of criticizing me, won't you come here and teach me? That'll be awesome. Alhamdulillah. May Allah allow our women to teach us. I wanted to make some rice the other day. I don't know how to make rice that good. I don't know how to get it so soft. May Allah help us all. They say just keep boiling it. I'm sitting there boiling and boiling and boiling and boiling. It's still the same. At any rate, she always says, I'm going to teach you. You ain't teach me yet. May Allah help us. At any rate, he's making food for the girl. He intends with this action She's no longer in the waiting period. Here you go, honey. You're no longer in the waiting period in his heart. Now she's no longer in the waiting period. He intends it. The man kisses his wife. What violation is he doing? Nothing. She's still his wife. If he intends with this kiss in his heart, you are no longer in his heart. You are no longer in the waiting period. Then guess what? She's no longer in the waiting period. What's the proof? إِنَّمَا الْأَعْمَالُ بِالنِّيَّاتِ. Actions are based upon intentions. The man, now some people get offended with a Shafi'i here. He has proof. The man has relations with his wife. They come together. He does not intend that she's out the waiting period. What did he violate? Nothing. She's still his wife. She's still your wife. You have to spend on her. Why do I have to spend on her? She's still under you. You're still responsible. Why do I have to give her food? She's still under you. Why do I have to give her drink? She's still under you.
Where's the proof that she's still under you?
Her iddah is not over.
Oh, it doesn't separate you?
No. There's a process in Islam. Allah Ta'ala says in the ayah, Al-Talaathah marratan, al-ayah, divorce is two. So once you pronounce it, she's not divorced yet. You have iddah until taqtadiya iddatuha, until her iddah is over.
Does she need to have that intention too? Or is
No.
it sufficient?
That's a good question, may Allah bless you. The woman here, in this regard, has nothing to do with it. The man can divorce his wife for no reason, and that's hated. Some scholars say that's haram. To not have a reason. She's getting a little bigger. That happened. We're getting older, ikhwan. She has some babies. This winter time, who doesn't get bigger in the winter? Everybody gains some pounds. We're not working out no more. It's not summer. Tight. So I want to divorce the girl. Why? Oh, she gained some pounds. No, that's not Islam. That's your desires. Islam says that's hated to do. You're separating your family with no Islamic reason. Some scholars say that's haram. Some scholars say that's haram. طيب. The man pronounces divorce on her. She has to wait until her iddah. The woman, she wants to be divorced. The man says, you're no longer in the waiting period. She says, no, keep me in there. I don't want to be with you. No, stay. I want to stay. Lock the door back. No, it's not like that. That's the right of the man. That's the right of the man. Sometimes the woman has rights, and sometimes the man has rights. This here has nothing to do with the man, the woman. The man says, I want to marry you. She says, I don't want to marry you. He can't force her to marry her. No, she has the right to say yay or nay. She says nay. Alhamdulillah. He can't say, hey, I just got married, Akhi. She says, I said no. I didn't say yes. He says, yeah, I married her anyway. This is Islam. You can't. In his mind, we're married, girl. And her, it's not like that. Well, they're not married. So here, if the woman says, no, leave me in there. It's not a place. It's a time. It's a time. So the strongest opinion, ikhwan, that has the proofs is the one that has the intention. And that's by Imam Shafi'i. Other than him, I believe Ahmed says the same thing. Wallahu alam. And Allah Ta'ala knows best. So tonight we did some muraja'ah. We stopped at the maqtu' al-hadith. We'll stop there, ikhwan, as our 45 minutes are up. Inshallah ta'ala. We mentioned for after Isha, we may not go a whole hour. We may go 45 minutes or so. Inshallah, we started at 8:15. So, anyone has anything else to mention? Our sisters, our brother? If not, we'll start there, inshallah. Our brother says you don't answer the questions in the comments that often. We try our best, ya akhi. Sometimes we pay attention and sometimes we don't. Where is your masjid located? We're in Kansas City, Missouri. May Allah bless you. Give everybody there as-salam. You also give everybody as-salam. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. On the Telegram, someone, Myra, text something and let me see if I can see it. Can you comment while the class is going on the Telegram? Someone asked me that. I said we have to play with it and see, inshallah. It may be a way we can activate the live comments. He says, I saw your hand go up. Assalamu alaikum. Maybe not. Alhamdulillah. So you can talk on there. If you type something, can we see it?
No.
La bas. I saw you raised the, I guess if you want to speak, we have to give you permission to speak.
Yes.
Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam wa rahmatullah.
No, okay. Someone asked me about it, and I said we'll play with it and see, inshallah. May Allah bless you all, ya ikhwan. We may have to give someone else like to watch. I tried to follow the classes, ya ikhwan, I mean the questions best I can. But on the timeline it goes down, so sometimes you miss them. طيب we'll stop there يا إخوان وسبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
Maybe we change the time. It seems like the class is getting,
A little longer.
smaller.
Yeah, I think too, honestly, between me, myself, ya ikhwan, that was our second class. I think if we keep it after Isha, I think it's going to be hard on the women.